views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm Daren Jaime. Today we're going to update you on what's happening in and around our borough as well as New York City. Coming up, we're going to discuss how one organization is protecting the right of the student body and promoting the general welfare of its student constituents and the university. And afterwards, we're going to learn about Super Tuesday, how it's going to affect the Democratic primary election moving forward. We'll have Michael Benjamin in the studio with us as well. And we'll discuss about the open enrollment happening for a charter school right here in the borough of the Bronx. More details will be coming up a little bit later on in the show. And then later, we'll learn about an upcoming exhibition here in the Bronx featuring a unique technique on digital art. Then after that, we'll speak with a political activist on his work in the presence of youth and political activism. And then we're also going to learn how one organization is helping entrepreneurs and startups with their pitches and branding. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I'm Daren Jaime, and today is Wednesday, March the 4th, and you're now watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channels. You can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Well, some things have been going on through this past week. We'll take you through a few of them with our Bronx Updates. Well, as of today, Wednesday, March 4th, there are officially 3 cases of the coronavirus here in New York City. In response to these cases, the MTA announced a plan to combat the spread of the coronavirus. Subways, city buses, and cars will be sanitized every 3 days, while turnstiles, Metro cards, and handrails will be disinfected daily. All branches of the city's transit system, such as the subway, the MTA buses, Access-A-Ride, Long Island Railroad, and Metro North, will undergo intensified scrub-down plans. MTA Chairman and CEO Pat Foy stated, quote, "We continue aggressively to monitor the situation and take all necessary actions to ensure our system remains safe," end quote. MTA workers will conduct daily cleanings to ensure more than 6,000 subway cars, 5,000 buses, and 1,000 Access-A-Ride vans, as well as other transit services, are disinfected every 72 hours. Well, in law news, Manhattan lawmakers want to make it illegal for businesses to double or triple the prices for hand sanitizer, face masks, or other medical products as New Yorkers gather supplies during the coronavirus outbreak. State Senator Brad Hoylman introduced a bill on Tuesday cracking down on retailers who raised the prices of medical supplies during a public health emergency. The New York Attorney General could also fine businesses who jacked up prices up to $25,000 under the law. Senator Hoylman stated, quote, "Profiting off of the fear of a disease is unconscionable. We can't allow shady businesses to hike prices on the supplies New Yorkers need to stay safe and healthy, like hand sanitizers as well as face masks." Well, in other news, for any New Yorker who relies on plastic bags while doing your shopping, get ready to pay just a little bit more than you expected. On Sunday, March the 1st, the plastic bag ban went into effect. Shoppers will have to choose between bringing recyclable bags to stores or paying 5 cents more for every paper bag they use. Now, according to the Department of Environmental Conservation, the state will wait until April the 1st to penalize stores who violate the ban. While the majority of retailers would not be able to provide plastic bags, there are a few exemptions. The ban exempts bags used for uncooked meat, restaurant takeout food, prescription drugs, and drug cleaning. Well, that's all the time we have for our Bronx Updates. We want you to stay with us because we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more open right after this.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
And thank you for staying with us. The University Student Center, or I should say Student Senate, better known as the USS, of the City University of New York, CUNY, is an organization focusing on the protecting of the rights of the student body. And while furthering the cause of public and higher education and promoting the general welfare of its student body as well as the university. And here now is to share a little bit more is filmmaker, executive director of SUNY Student Senate, and he is Cyril Jigan. And we thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Oh, good to have you. So when we talk about the Student Senate, obviously a lot of people are need rights and they have things that they're really advocating for,
Yes,
and especially in today's society as far as, you know, the economy and financial situations. Talk to us a little bit about the work of the Student Senate.
The University Student Senate at CUNY is a student-led body organization.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like the Student Government Association in various campuses. Because for those that don't know, CUNY have 25 campuses, and every campus have a student government association. So that student government association elect 2 delegates and 2 alternates to represent them on a CUNY level, on a university level. So we are the University Student Senate. I'm honored to be the executive director. We advocate for things like filling the TAP gap, free CUNY, you know, stopping the tuition increase. You know, we give scholarships to students, yearly scholarships. We organize co-sponsorship with clubs, local clubs on campuses that want to organize events and don't have enough funding. They could apply to us to get more funding to do. So it's more about the right of the students. Right. You know, we travel to Albany to advocate to the elected officials. We meet with the officials at CUNY Central at the office. So our students are very active out there to say, no, you know, this university used to be free before. Why are we paying now and why are they asking us to pay more? So can we do something so that that should stop? So this year was a very active year because it's an election year. So we think the elected officials have an ear to listen to us this year.
It might be a good time to get that in, right?
Yeah.
But when you talk about political activism, obviously engaging students, you have the delegation of students who are from these 25 campuses.
Yes, sir.
But yet and still, you talk about the student body itself, motivating the body and getting that connection. It's one thing to have an organization, but it's another thing to get the body represented.
Yeah.
How well have you been able to get into the body of students and getting them engaged politically?
That's an awesome question. I was a student leader myself. Graduated from Lehman College, class of 2015. I was a student government president at Lehman, and I went to City College for my master's degrees, and I was a student government president at City College. Then I became a member of this organization. I was a vice chair for graduate student affairs. So when I graduated from City College, the position of executive directors opened up, and I'm honored to be offered the job. So I've experienced this journey. So it's easy for me to tell my story and tell the students that, guess what? We have to be real. If you want to you want to advocate for the students, you have to do it as a true advocate. And sometimes it's not easy because students have classes, they have families. Some students are struggling with homelessness. Some students are struggling with food insecurity. But we still have great student advocates that believe that they can be the voice for the voiceless.
Right.
So it's a process. But with stories like mine, being a part of the family, it's easy for students to connect with me and say, oh, if he did it, I could do it.
Right.
So let's go and do it. So.
And you've been noticed by that. I mean, the borough president himself actually gave you an award. You just recently got an award from the borough president. Congratulations.
Thank you,
when you
sir.
talk about being that voice for the voiceless, tell people about the award and what it means to you.
I woke up one morning with my son, my 8-year-old son, and we're going to the train. I was taking him to work with me, and he saw the garbage on the pathway, on the path at Kingsbridge on 194th. And he asked me, like every 8 years old will ask, Daddy, why is there so much garbage on the floor? And I felt ashamed. For the first time, I didn't know what to tell my son. I could not explain to him that the city is not doing their job, the GOT is not working, the GSNY is not doing what they're supposed to do, the MTA is not cleaning the street. So I just kept it cool. The next day, I invited him out with me. I said, let's go and clean it. Let's go and see if it's still dirty. We'll clean it, and maybe it will create an awareness. I wasn't looking for fame, all right? I was just doing that to teach my son a lesson. We went down there, we cleaned, and I did a short video of a minute. I posted it on my Twitter. 2 days later, 22,000 views. The video went viral. And I got called from the mayor's office, the Bronx Borough President office, and everybody. And I appreciate the Bronx Borough President for inspiring my children by giving them certificate of recognition as a Bronx Borough resident.
Right.
That will never go away from their mind. Every day they speak about it, and that was my intent. My intent was to inspire them, to understand that they're part of the community. The community is not just them; its community is us.
Right.
So if the street is not clean, and it's there for 2-3 months without being clean, somebody needs to do something. And that was the story. And I will do that, and I will always do that. And after that, I got accepted as a community board member for Community Board 7. So the journey is continuous. It's not stopping. It's not about being famous.
And you still keep boots on the ground.
Yes, sir.
But you talked about actually taking that video and that video going viral, you not knowing about it. But honestly, you're also a filmmaker as well.
Yes, sir, I am. I always film. I film my children whenever they're doing stuff because that's the story. I grew up without a father, and me doing this to my children is just giving them what I didn't have, So I always film them and I show them the video. I was like, see, you doing this, you could do better, and everything. So taking that film that day was like, I wanted to show them, like, it's important to do community service, and me as a filmmaker is a reflex. Taking my phone and filming is a reflex, it's a second nature, so I'm always doing that. And one of the things that we're talking about today is my movie coming out March 26th.
Yes, please tell people about it.
Miles, the movie, is a project I did in Ghana, Africa, in 2019. I got my taxes back, and I've been working on this project for 2 years, and I told my wife, I think you're going to let me use this tax money to shoot a movie in Africa. She was like, do it, I support you. I was like, really? She was like, yeah, you could do it. And I bought my ticket, and I was out in Africa. An issue that really is dear to my heart is child marriage. In the world, and even in America, you have people getting married to 15, 16 years old.
Right.
And I've been writing. I went to Africa 2 years before, and I saw a victim of child marriage, and I decided to tell the story. But she didn't want to be on camera to do a documentary. So my friends and I sat down and we wrote a script, and that's the story. Miles, yes.
And you have, really quickly, you have a premiere coming up on Thursday,
March
26th, right?
Yes.
And you'll be telling that story as well.
Yes, sir. It's a short film, 30 minutes. It's a story of a 15-year-old girl that's a victim of a custom, of a tradition of child marriage, where people believe is normal to do that, you know. But I'm saying, as an advocate, I'm saying it's wrong.
How long did you stay out there doing the filming?
I stayed there for 3 weeks. Yeah, and we shot straight for 14 days, non-stop.
Wow.
Day in and day out.
Wow.
You know.
And what was the most striking thing to you out of all that?
The most striking thing was the hospitality. Was the village where we shot in, and for people that follow me on Instagram, I always put updates. We were given everything. You know, you can't shoot a movie in New York with $5,000 or $6,000. But with my $6,000, it's stretched, you know, because everybody was hospitable. People gave me their bed to sleep on. People gave me free food. People gave me water. They gave us the free everything, you know. So hospitality is great. It was awesome. Me being an African, I was shocked, you know. Being a New Yorker, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Can I have it? Yeah. Oh, wow, thank you, you know. So that was shocking, you know, but that was a blessing, too, for the project.
Definitely. Well, C-Rel, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Put that tax money to work, huh?
Oh, yes, man. I put it to work. I stretched it.
All righty. Well, listen, if you want to RSVP for the movie premiere, you can visit Eventbrite at Miles by C-Rel. And then you can also follow him on social media at C-Rel Jigen. Don't go anywhere. We have got more show coming back. We're going to discuss more information about yesterday's Democratic primaries. Super Tuesday. We recap the results with our political analyst coming up right after this.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, The Essence, here, right on the set of the The Essence Show. Please tune in each and every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Files 34, Optimum 68, and live streaming, bronxnet.tv. Or you better get in line.
6:30, let's have a good time. Get in line, free your mind. Let the music help you celebrate life. Get in line, keep it real. Get empowered and inspired to feel.
It's time to get serious about your future. At Bronx Community College, you can earn an Associate of Applied Science degree and become a medical laboratory technician in as little as 2 years. Earn an average salary of over $50,000 a year in one of the most rewarding careers in medicine. All you need is a high school diploma or equivalent to get started. Those who qualify can get tuition covered by grants and scholarships, so why wait? For program details, contact Bronx Community College today.
And we're back here on Open. Breaking news coming to us now at our news desk. Letting you know, earlier we reported about the coronavirus case. Well, we can confirm now that there are 4 additional persons that are attached. The wife, the son, the daughter, and the neighbor of a Westchester man have all been confirmed with signs of COVID-19. We'll continue to bring you more news as the numbers increase now to 6. We'll bring you more news as it continues to become available. Well, in other news, last night was Super Tuesday, one of the most consequential days in the Democratic primary. It's the day and the single day when most states hold their primaries. Voters have a chance to go to the polls, and delegates will be allotted to the candidates. And more than a third of all delegates for the Democratic National Convention are up for grabs on this one particular day. And joining us now to tell us more results of Super Tuesday and how it can continue to reshape the race is Associate Editor is the Associate Editorial Page Editor for the New York Post, Michael Benjamin, who will tell us about the resurgence of Joe Biden as Biden has won several states and Bernie Sanders, of course, picking up 2 states, or still too close to call, California, as well as Maine. And Mike Benjamin, good to have you. Do we have Mike on the air?
I should be.
Okay. Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, I'm sorry. We lost you for a second. Good to have you. Had technical difficulties. Let's recap. It's actually Wednesday, the morning after. Huge surprise on the part of Vice President Joe Biden.
Oh, absolutely. I think he owes it all to Representative James Clyburn of South Carolina. James Clyburn really moved South Carolina to Biden's corner, and that signaled other Democrats that Biden had a chance. It told African-American voters in the South that he has a chance. He's their guy. And wanting moderate Democrats, not really wanting Bernie Sanders at the top of their ticket, they came out and they voted for Joe Biden. And what's even more surprising is that Biden didn't have real campaign operations, and in many places, in many of the states that he won, he barely had an organization. He barely put ads on TV or on radio, but he managed to pull this out. I mean, he won 9 of the 14 states that held primaries last night, and he's going to take away at least a third of the delegates in California.
Yeah, well,
so,
back.
According to what I saw, it looks like Biden is projected to pull into a slim lead over Sanders when it comes to number of delegates they have to date.
Well, let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, we talk about his big win in South Carolina, but the truth is he really landed well in Las Vegas, paving the way for him to go into South Carolina.
Yeah, I guess. Most people believe that Sanders won the Nevada caucus almost outright because of Latino support, and Joe didn't do as well as was projected. So he came into South Carolina really with 2 losses in Iowa and New Hampshire, and not doing as well as they thought he would have done in Nevada. But South Carolina, Representative Clyburn pulled his fat out of the fire, and Biden is on fire. He's got momentum. He's moving into other states later this month with primaries, Florida, which is going to be also delegate rich. But the real loser last night was Michael Bloomberg and his near $500 million of campaign spending that netted him maybe a couple dozen delegates.
Was it poor strategy on his behalf to wait, until after four conversations and then to get into the race and decide that this was going to do it? Or do you think that if he'd have gotten earlier, people may have gave him a more credible shot?
I'm not sure. I don't think early would have helped him. He didn't want to hurt Joe Biden, but he saw Biden was faltering in previous races, and he saw him faltering in national polls. He thought he'd come in and be the person who could stop and slow down Bernie Sanders. It didn't happen the way Bloomberg's and his consultants told him it would work out. They weren't counting on South Carolina going massively for Joe Biden, and that triggering a domino effect of folks wanting to be with him over Bloomberg and over Bernie Sanders. It's still a long way to go, but it looks like it's going to be primarily a contest between the establishment and Bernie's revolutionaries. Liz Warren says she's going to stay in until the end. Michael Bloomberg says he's going to do the same, but other reports are saying he's going to reassess what happened last night, determine whether he will go forward in spending money in other states as March progresses.
Well, there's a joke among journalists that after Super Tuesday, it's called Wake Up Wednesday, and that's when the candidates really come to the realization that, hey, I may not actually be cut out for it. But for a person like Liz Warren, who did not even carry her own state, what can one make?
Her state, Oklahoma.
Right. So what can we make of that, saying I'm going to stay in the race? Does this actually help a Joe Biden? Does this hurt a Joe Biden? Does it help a Bernie Sanders? Does it hurt a Bernie Sanders?
I think it helps Joe Biden because Liz Warren takes away some of the progressive vote from Bernie Sanders. She seems to have an organization. She seems to have money that she's spending, and I'm told she's a pretty good, campaigner when she's out on the trail. And she seems to have a cadre of supporters that are out there. Not enough to overcome the Sanders and Biden lead. Maybe she'll have a state that will tip the tide for her. We don't know, but it doesn't seem likely that's going to happen. I think she also wants to bring an agenda to the convention. She wants to have an influence on the Democratic National Committee's platform. I think she's doing it for strategic reasons.
Talk to me about one name that we haven't spoken about, which is former President Barack Obama. How much was his hand an influence in yesterday's Biden sweep?
I don't know. It's like the invisible hand of the market. We don't know. Nobody's talking about things, and we can't quite see his fingerprints on the support for Joe Biden. There are those who say that he's been doing some things that's possible, but he said he would be hands off. I think you could say that James Clyburn in South Carolina sort of was acting as sort of Obama's doppelganger in trying to pull things together for Joe Biden. Biden now is going to get money. He's going to be able to put together a campaign organization in upcoming states with primaries, and he'll be in a better position. There are those who are saying, that they're going to be reaching out to Michael Bloomberg to urge him to drop out and then to create his own, independent expenditure pact to work on behalf of Biden, because apparently Bloomberg really despises and doesn't think Sanders should be president and wants to keep Bernie out of the nomination. So, we'll see. A lot of wheels are turning. Bernie seems to not have been able to really get above a 35% threshold in any of the elections so far. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can say things are beginning to heat up, and Michael Benjamin, that's why we bring it back every week to let us know what's going on. Thank you, Mike, for joining us.
I have to be with you. Thank you.
All righty. Listen, now for more information, you can follow Michael on Twitter at SquarePegDem, and don't go anywhere. We've got more. When we come back, we're going to learn about a charter school's open enrollment. Stay tuned. We'll introduce them to you right after this. And we are back here on Open. Thank you for staying with us. Emblaze Academy is a charter school founded on the beliefs that all students, regardless of race, socioeconomic, or zip code, can learn and achieve at high levels when held to the highest expectations. Now, the school has open enrollment for upcoming 5th and 6th graders. Here now to tell us more is the founding director of Operations, Arian Rojas, and Operations Manager, Miguel Pena. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you for having us.
Good to have you. So it's an exciting opportunity. I guess, if you're getting ready to be a parent of those who are going into the 5th or 6th grade, an opportunity to really land at your school. And so for somebody who doesn't know about it, I'm going to give you the free, beach ball, throw it away, take it away, Tell us about Emblaze Academy.
Absolutely. So Emblaze Academy, we're a middle school located in the South Bronx area of Hunts Point. And so we're 5 to 8 middle school. So this is our second year of operation. So we only have 5th and 6th graders. So next year we'll have our first 7th grade class. So we really are an intimate setting. We are growing along with our families in that Garrison location. We're also college preparatory. So our curriculum is tailored to make sure our students are top performing and getting ready to compete for the top high schools and top colleges.
And when we talk about that, I mean, you got a new location going. So talk about the new location.
So we're in the Hunts Point area. We used to be in Williamsbridge. So last year we decided to move to Hunts Point, our new home. And we decided it was the best spot because, like Ms. Rojas said, we do want to serve the kids in the South Bronx, and we feel like Hunts Point is right at the heart of it.
So now in this season is what you call open enrollment. So if somebody doesn't know about open enrollment, what exactly is open enrollment?
Absolutely. So charter schools, we are open enrollment to all families, all students. So any student, despite of what current school, what their grades are, whatever the misconceptions are around charter schools, we accept all kids and we're a school for all kids. So what that means is you apply, you just submit a general application online. Most charter schools use this platform called Schoolmint. So if you go to our website, www.emblazeacademy.org, and you apply there, it's just a one-pager, quick demographic information. And so we have a lottery, as all charter schools do, as part of our statutes. And the lottery happens on April 13th for us. So the application is open until April 12th, midnight. And what happens is on April 13th, we have a lottery generator that basically picks out all our students. So for 5th grade, we have 90 available seats. For 6th and 7th grade, we have limited seats depending on what those numbers look like for our current students that are moving up. And we just have the lottery produce those first families, and then everyone else is put on a wait list, and we enroll from there.
Miguel, give me your takeaway on charter schools, because you hear a lot of different things about charter schools, right? But of course, you're working with one, so you can say there's the advantages. So what do you find to be the advantages of attending a charter school?
So definitely. I started off in public schools, so I've always been in the Bronx in public schools. And as I started with Ms. Rojas in charter school, I've noticed that the charter schools, they have more liberty to do what they want with their schedules in terms of academics. Let's say public schools, they have to follow the guidelines of DOE. Charter schools, they have to, but they have more liberty to. Like for us at Emblaze, we have the last block, we have electives for the kids to have more, to learn more practical skills. Let's say we have the partnership with BronxNet where the kids learn how to manage the floor, how to manage a camera, things like that, yeah.
It makes a difference, right? I mean, those electives are something sometimes people say, well, you know, those are classes that don't count. But they really are classes that count because they actually motivate people possibly into a career field.
Definitely. And so for charter school, I always like to premise it like this. Like, it's really all about parent voice and parent choice. So parents have opportunities to explore what's the best fit for their child. So no longer do they have to stick to district schools or zone schools. Now they have the opportunity to explore charter schools from all different boroughs. And so it really is that, one, flexibility with parents to make sure that they are able to advocate for their child, and 2, to be able to feel that their child is attending a school that they felt 100% confident about.
Give us a little bit about eligibility criteria. Obviously, somebody's watching right now saying, listen, I want to get my child in. I'm thinking about charter school, but I'm not sure whether or not I actually qualify. And many people never even just press the send button, right? So what is the eligibility requirements for people to be able to come to your charter school?
Honestly, just go to our website and apply. We accept every student within the 5th grade and 7th grade at the moment.
And so what happens is with charter schools is every charter school has like a preference in their lottery. What it means is that when you apply, if you fall within those preferences, so for us it would be Community School District 8 because that's where the Hunts Point area falls under, that's a preference. So if you're definitely in the neighborhood, that's a priority. We also have a priority for students, siblings of attending students. So if you have a sibling that's already attending Emblaze Academy, then that puts you at a greater advantage in the lottery to get enrolled at the school, as well as like children from employees. But what that doesn't mean is that just because you live in another borough or in another district that you won't get in. It just means that the students within those preferences move up in the lottery.
Yeah. And so going forward now, give me your assessment. How do you like things the way they are as far as the school system is going, as far as the school year is going, and what can people look forward to?
Absolutely. So we are really happy with Emblaze Academy. I think for us, we're, Mr. Pena lives in the neighborhood. I'm born and raised in the Fordham area of the Bronx. It really is like pride in your neighborhood. Like our classrooms are named after neighborhoods like Simpson, Sedgwick. We have Soundview. We have Mahaven, Melrose, Morrisania. Everything we do at Emblaze Academy is making sure that our kids feel, one, that positive affiliation with their neighborhood, with their community, and two, that they're strongly have a narrative that they're, one, contributing because of the BronxNet, like we're able to have students produce news, but also that they are not ashamed of being part of a community that we want to be a part of.
Ariane, Miguel, thank you so much, and best wishes for Emblaze Academy. I know open enrollment is going, so I know that you'll be get some applications, so best wishes.
Thank you so much. Apply.
Go ahead and apply. Thank you so much. All right, listen. Now, for more information on how, again, you can enroll your child for the 2020-2021 school year, all you have to do is visit their website, emblazeacademy.org/enroll, and then you can call Arian at 917-415-6547, and there you can be able to get connected. Listen, taking a quick break, but coming up, we're going to learn more about an exhibition using techniques, special techniques, unique techniques. We'll get you more information right after this. And we are back in My Mind's Eyes, an upcoming exhibition featuring the work of Gustavo Rojas, who created a unique style and technique of communicating his artwork to the world. And now we're going to find out a little bit more about the exhibition. The digital artist himself, Gustavo Rojas, joins us here on set, as well as curator Jose Velasquez. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us here. Yes.
Congratulations on the great work.
Thank you.
And so you're going to have the opportunity to have your work featured.
Yes, the opening is on March 12th, and it's going to be there for a month. Digital paintings, painting directly on the canvas. They are unique pieces. They are printed on canvas. This is a creativity that I call it in my mind's eyes because I imagine all these paintings. It's nothing that I don't follow a painting or follow an animal. It's just creativity from my brains to the canvas.
Yeah. And you have the opportunity of hosting over at Boricua College. You're from Boricua College. Talk to us about it.
I have been working on this program since 2018. We start doing exhibition every 1 or 2 months. And at the beginning, I had the opportunity also to join the collective to start this program. And we have been presenting exhibition and being a link with the community. That's I love a lot. Actually, I have a current exhibition right in this. If you have the chance to visit us, you will see mine as well, which is mostly about design, how I develop other techniques to make 3D objects from scratch. So I publish them, and gives the chance to students and the community to make sculpture by their hands as well.
Right.
And next week, we will have to enjoy our master Gustavo Rojas exhibition as well. Actually, I brought one of the published that I've been using in the exhibition because for this purpose I enlarged those designs, so it makes it easier for the public to enjoy them, as also how to develop sculpture as well and musical instrument from cardboard also. So I put many techniques together. So.
And talk about your exhibition too as well. What makes, from your perspective, what makes it special, unique?
Well, it's unique in it. If you start thinking, I used to do all my paintings in airbrush. And I was able to change techniques from airbrush into digital, which I use different programs. And when you put a painting of digital next to one in acrylic, an airbrush, you can even tell the difference. So I'm very proud of that I was able to translate from one technique to the other one. And I think that makes especially now that everything is coming digital in these times, is a way to perform, to do something that it has so many varieties, you can just do anything you want.
The use of computer in art, right? That's big these days, right? Before that was not really heard of. Now we're seeing more of it. I mean,
it's still in the process.
Right.
But it's getting there, and I think a lot of digital work is most of the people sometimes what they do a painting, they took a photo, and then they convert it into digital. What I do is a different technique because I painted directly on the computer. So it's not a copy from another painting.
Right.
So I think it's something special in creating painting with energy, with light, electricity.
Actually, we've been connecting two different color systems because originally the first color system used in art, we call it the subtractive. It's mixing paintings are not the same as mixing light. With the light in the computer or cell phones and also in theater, you have different, let's say, behavior of the colors and other principles. So in our case, we have been using both for paintings and designing for the original techniques, but also now that you said, it's a computer, so we're connecting for the future as well.
Very quickly, what do you want people to take away from your work?
Well, they say whatever they want to say, because what I see is that every person who see one of my paintings, they see something different. And they say, what are you portraying there? I say, whatever you want. So I want just people to find themselves in the work.
You get your own takeaway from it, right?
Right.
In my mind's eye.
In my mind's eye.
Gustavo Rojas, Jose Velasquez, thank you so much for coming to share with us. Listen, the In My Mind's Eye opening reception is actually taking place on Thursday, March the 12th. And as you see, it's right there from 6 to 9 at the Borough College Art Gallery, located at 890 Washington Avenue. The exhibition will be open until Friday, April the 10th. For more information, you can visit Gustavo's website at GustavoRojas.com. We encourage you to go check it out. And we encourage you also to stay with us. Don't go anywhere, because guess what? When we come back, we're going to sit down with a political activist, so stay tuned. We'll come right back.
I was there.
I was there.
Yo estuve allí.
So many symptoms came on me all at once.
Shortness of breath.
I stopped sleeping.
I was getting laryngitis.
Emotionally, it was a basket case.
None of these issues did I have before 9/11.
The World Trade Center Health Program gave me hope.
You don't have medical insurance? That should not be a problem because the fundings are already there.
The doctor told me when I spoke with her, she says I could fill a room with people that sound just like you.
They were very thorough, very
caring and empathetic.
When I left there, I had a plan in hand.
If you're sick because of 9/11 and its aftermath, the World Trade Center Help Program can help you.
There's no other place like this.
It saved my life.
And welcome back to Oprah. We continue now with more breaking news. We have got reports that former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg is announcing that he is ending his campaign and he is actually supporting now that of Bernie Sanders. So we'll take a look and find out. Joe Biden. Michael Bloomberg ending his 2020 campaign, saying that he is now supporting, Joe Biden. And as we know yesterday, Joe Biden with massive numbers in terms of wins, winning in Alabama, Arkansas, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. Bernie Sanders coming away with wins in Colorado, Vermont, and Utah. As of today, there are still 2 states that are too close to call, California and Maine. But once again, the breaking news coming that former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg is ending his campaign, and he is actually supporting former Vice President Joe Biden. Well, we're back with other news and political activism we're talking about, right? Civil engagement provides teens and young adults with a sense of inclusion and self-identity at a crucial time in the political world. However, their influence is not always acknowledged by elected officials. So these youths will have problems to face by the problems of the world made by current world leaders. And the question is, how can you actually have youth be more engaged in social activism? And joining us now to tell us more is political activist Juan Escalante. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Good. And so really getting people more involved and getting people more engaged. And for the work that you're engaged in, tell people about the work.
So I've been involved in political activism for about 3 years now, since the election of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Basically what I did was I didn't go to college after high school. I was just working because I was trying to do other things like acting. So I would go to auditions and that was my main thing. But after that election, I decided to go back to school. And that's sort of how I began to find my way in political activism.
Tell me about what you're thinking about today. As far as I just gave you breaking news right now, what's your thoughts?
I think it's a little too early to talk about who has the best chance of being the Democratic frontrunner. I'm rooting for Sanders, but at the end of the day, whomever ends up being the Democratic nominee, I will back them up because I think we're at a crucial time. Yeah. And, that's such a crucial time that's how I got involved in these movements like, being a translator for detainees, Standing Rock, etc.
Wow. So talk about your work. As you said, you have to be a translator for detainees. What did that include?
Well, I was working with the American Immigration Council as a volunteer translator because the demand for translators was so big and there was a lack of translators. So they were just reaching out to college students, people who could help. And basically, you had to go to detention centers where they had people who had just come across the Mexico-U.S. border. And my job was to translate for them, to be a translator for the detainee and the lawyer, and to help them build a case so that they could, find asylum in the United States.
So having this experience, obviously it's a frontline experience. We talk about it, we report it, but actually you're on the front lines.
Yeah.
And it has a personal effect on your life. How's it shaped your life?
Well, I'm an immigrant myself. I was born in El Salvador, and I came here when I was 9. And I grew up in California, and I've been living in the Bronx for about 2 years now. And so for me, it's very personal, and it definitely hits home. So like when I hear about kids in cages, it's like, it was such an emotional toll. Like I cried when I heard the news and I would hear the kids because I felt that was my brother or my cousin that I was watching. And so that prompted me to reach out to my professors and ask them what can I do to get involved? And little by little, they referred me to different agencies that were able to connect me with detainees and lawyers.
So you're engaged in activism. What's the message that you want to send through your activism?
So the message I want to send, especially to young people, I think that especially earlier millennials and this new upcoming generation, Generation Z, feels that they're disenfranchised, that they don't have a voice, that they're not represented in their government, that there's too many, like they say these days, there's too many old white heterosexual men, in the government. And they're hungry for representation, but they just don't see an outlet And what I want to say to them is, don't wait for the outlet. Get out there. There's social media. Look for a cause, because we're big in numbers.
Right.
And so I want to inspire them to get active, get out there.
When I was talking to C-Rel in the earlier segment, I talked to him about, really getting younger people involved and engaged. He's seeing more people, especially across the college campuses, become more involved and engaged. From your perspective, do you start to see more youth involvement, youth engagement in the political process?
I'm seeing it absolutely, especially after the last election. And I definitely see it a lot in communities of color, which it makes me very happy.
Right. Well, talk to me about, before we go, how somebody can be involved. You've done it, you've mastered it. Give a final word as to how can somebody become engaged, how can somebody become involved?
Support the candidate that you want, and it doesn't have to be a presidential candidate. It can be in your local elections. It can be, reaching out on social media to other activists. It can be, doing phone banks or building your own movement, holding your own protest. Gather your friends and do some kind of sit down at home and talk about ways that you can get involved. And, little by little, you'll begin to find ways to have your outlet.
All right, Juan Escalante, good to have you, Juan.
Thank you.
Take care. Now, listen, for more information on Juan, yes, you can follow him on Instagram at Juan Escalante Official. I have to take a quick break, but let's give you the breaking news once again. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg announcing that he is suspending his campaign, ending it, and throwing his support behind Joe Biden. We'll continue to bring you more news on the political front as it becomes available. Also, the latest updates on the coronavirus, we'll give you that as well. And after the break, we're also going to tell you how one company is actually training entrepreneurs. We want you to stay tuned. Coming up right after this.
Did you know that brain and spinal cord tumors are the deadliest form of pediatric cancer? It can happen to anyone.
I'm not hungry. My tummy hurts.
You can help us be part of the solution.
Get in here. Hurry.
You can be part of our family.
It's okay.
Please support our mission today. Making Headway Foundation, dedicated to the care, comfort, and cure of children with brain and spinal cord tumors.
Here we are, Jerome Avenue, the heart of the Bronx. This is where I grew up. Business is booming, people are moving, everyone works hard. Nothing was handed to anyone here. I've been in here to take my passport pictures. I bought flowers here for my mother. Oh, this is where I get my smoothies, by the way. Continuation. This is what we call the O, 170th Street. It feels so Bronx. Hey, my man Fonzie. We've walked up and down the corridor, nothing but love. And I'm glad to say that Jerome is home.
And we are back. Welcome back. Perfect Pitches by Precious is an organization training and coaching women entrepreneurs, as well as startup businesses who struggle with bringing their next ideas and making it big. Well, they got products and services to market. So listen, if you're struggling in the area of your pitches, your presentations, not good in the public speaking area, our next guest is here to help. Joining us now to tell us a little bit more is the CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious Williams, Precious L. Williams. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Look,
I'm so delighted to be here. Let's do it.
Let's do it, right?
Let's do it.
So when we talk about pitches, how important are they?
They are so important for any business, any brand. You need them if you're going into interviews. You
Right.
need to be able to pitch yourself. So if you need to go to the media and you have a business or a brand, you want to be able to say something that makes you unique, that makes you stand out. If you want to get on Shark Tank, which I did, season 8, 2016,
All right.
I had to do it in a certain way. My company was Curvy Girls Lingerie, and that was back before the body positivity movement, before Lizzo, before Ashley Graham was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. There was Precious Williams at 327 pounds, trying to tell the masses that most women looked like me, and they want pretty underwear too. But you can't just say that. You have to have statistics, facts, and everything to back you up. But then you have to have a killer pitch that just nails them. Like, I got it. I want to work with her. I want to invest in her and everything like that.
So how did that turn out for you?
Oh, it was cool. Like, here's the thing. I didn't go on Shark Tank for an investment. I went for exposure because I knew once people saw me, it was a done deal. I knew investments were going to come out of the yin-yang, that were going to be better than what was proposed to me on Shark Tank.
So in essence, what you're saying is, I went there to make a pitch, and
Yes.
you made your pitch, but your pitch had a different reach and
Yes.
different. So help.
And they loved it. They were like, Robert Herjavec said to me, "You're a master. You're a master salesman." I know what I'm doing. I've been doing
Right.
this since I was 16 years old.
So you got it down pat.
I do.
So you take entrepreneurs and you bring them up under your wing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so give us about some of the skills that you actually give them. I mean, they we got people out there. I got my business, I got it, but that they're just missing that one thing to really deliver.
Well, one of the things I feel that most entrepreneurs are missing is confidence when they're pitching themselves or when they're presenting their brands. They go to networking events, they say, "Hi, my name is such and such, this is what I do." That's boring. I don't do that at all. What I do is give you that rock star confidence to be able to say something that makes you stand out in a crowded marketplace. I'm the killer pitch master. Name another killer pitch master out there. And I got that from MC Light, and I got that from Robert Townsend, the 5 Heartbeats, when I won the Black Enterprise Elevator Pitch Competition. They said, you slay all competition. I do it differently. So I teach you, you have to tell a story in a very short amount of time. You have to talk about what's your secret sauce, what makes you unique, what makes you stand out. And you also want to be able to begin with the end in mind. What is your end goal? Is it for the investment? Is it to get in media? Is it to get other resources? And once you start knowing what your end goal is, then we can craft backwards from there. And then you also want to be bold and unexpected. It takes a lot of boldness to be 327 pounds and going up against cool tech companies and international companies. And all I'm talking about is lingerie for curvy women, full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas. So when it comes to, if you can't win the battle, you have to change the game of the war. And so what I had to do was just go out there with the hashtag Rockstar Confidence and totally own my space and know that what I was doing was just as important as a Facebook, is just as important as any of these other companies, if not more, because more women were my size who were being neglected in the marketplace. And if you're not talking to these women, let me, and I'm gonna show you how it's doing.
Let me pitch one word to you then, and you take it from there. Talk to me about this one word that a lot of people deal with that have to overcome: failure.
Oh, failure is a stepping stone to success. Truly it is. Let me tell you something. Even though I did Shark Tank, Wall Street Journal, Forbes magazine, all of those great things, 3 years ago I was homeless on the streets of New York. 3 years ago.
Wow.
I used pitching to get me out of a desperate situation. And what I want to say to anyone who's listening, if you're struggling, it's okay. That's part of being an entrepreneur. The thing that brought me to homelessness was the love of my life, who inspired my first company, died. And when he died, I just kind of lost my mind. Now I'm back. And I was able to, like tomorrow, I'm speaking with InStyle magazine. Then I fly out to Canada to speak at an International Women's Day conference. Never let failure stand in your way. It's part of the stepping stone to success. I'm not homeless anymore. I'm doing it big, and you can too. So if you're gonna pitch your company, do it with Rockstar Confidence and set yourself up.
So how do people get connected to you, and what goes on after they get connected to you?
Okay, so you can connect with me at www.perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. And after setting up an appointment with me on my website, what we'll do is we'll sit down and go over your goals and see how can I help you get there. Do I have the connections? Can I help write the pitch? I usually write the pitches for my clients and then, go over it and then set them free. So that's what I do.
And then you release them on to do
I
it.
release them on.
And you have some great success stories, I know.
I definitely do. I've had clients on Shark Tank. In fact, one of my clients who's in Boston right now, I'm not going to put her name out there on blast because she's so very nervous. She's going to be on the upcoming season of Shark Tank. I have women who've been in major press publications and everything like that. So I've done a lot of amazing things, and I'm very proud of that.
You have an amazing story to tell.
Thank you.
Come on back again, okay?
Thank you so much.
Precious L. Williams, CEO, Perfect Pitches by Precious. Now listen, for more information on Perfect Pitches by Precious, you can visit their website, perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. Also follow her on Twitter at PerfectPitchP.
Yes.
That's it. Well, want to let you know we've come to the end of our show today. I make my pitch. Thank all the guests for joining us. You, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast at 5 and 10 p.m. on Optimus Channel 67, Verizon Fios Channel 33, or anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. And of course, catch a brand new episode with Arena Valentine on Friday, my homegirl. Listen, that about wraps it up for us here on the Set of Open. I'm Daren Jaime saying take care. Make sure to keep this channel wide open. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.